Hi everyone, it's Richard from Electric Bike Report in the UK here. Today I'm going to be looking at this Hunter Plus electric folding fat bike from UK company E Movement. As you can see, the most noticeable features are really these huge 4-inch wide fat bike tyres on these very strong sturdy looking mag wheels. There's also a very novel seat post battery. These cells are actually integrated into this removable seat post. There's a charging port and the power lead there, tucked nicely out of the way. That will give you 336 watt hours of power, and it's also a nice feature to be able to effectively remove that if you leave it locked and disable the bike. Really, the fat bike is aimed at getting you across loose surfaces, sand, gravel, snow, if that's what the kind of riding that you fancy. But it's also a comfort bike, really. Comfortable riding position with a short cockpit, quite high bars with further height adjustment here, and a nice easy to step over frame. Another good feature is the folding frame, which breaks in the middle, and the bars drop down to give you a package you can fold up pretty quickly and put in the back of a car or a truck.
So let's just take a quick recap of the highlights of the E Movement Hunter Plus electric fat bike. It's a low step-through frame model with a short distance from seat to bars, giving an upright riding position. There's 4-inch wide Chaoyang fat bike tyres for great traction on all surfaces. There's also a 350 watt rated geared hub motor built into the rear wheel. That's a mag wheel, and lastly 336 watt hours of battery power from Samsung cells neatly incorporated into the seat post.
The components on the Hunter Plus are fairly budget in nature. You've got a Shimano Tony TZ derailleur at the back there, giving you 7 derailleur gears, unbranded grips and an unbranded steel sprung fork, and a one-piece crank at the front, pro wheel crank. These are all fairly basic but easy to replace components. We found them perfectly functional, and they've really been used just to keep the price of the Hunter Plus within a reasonable range. Fat bikes themselves are fairly niche, so the prices tend to be a little bit higher than say hardtail MTBs and other genres of electric bike. To remove the batteries on the E Hunter, simply undo the power lead in, unscrew the little collar which secures the power lead while you're riding, like so. Undo the seat post clamp, and then it slides out easily. And there you have your batteries ready for charging, nicely protected in the alloy of the seat post. And the charging port, if you want to charge them, is tucked away under there. That's nice and dry in the rain with a little rubber cap just there.
So looking at your cockpit here, you can see you've got both a throttle start there, and there's also a cadence sensor on the pedals, so both will work up to 15.5 miles an hour. The pedal sensor will override the throttle, or you can use the throttle independently. You also see this neat display just by your left thumb grip. To turn the bike on, there's a button on the battery which is already turned on. You also just have to ensure you've got the key ignition turned on, and then you're ready to turn on at the display, which you can see has the normal speed, and you can also toggle through odometer, trip meter, I guess volume is range, I'm not entirely sure on that, and your time of this current trip. So the usual field settings there. You have your power level, 5 power levels up and down on the buttons, and also here you've got lights on and off, and a handy electronic horn, which is very noticeable. Then on the gear side, very intuitive
way of shifting the 7 Shimano derailleur gears. So quite a neat setup, nice narrow bars for quick responsive steering and gearing, and all your power controls to hand. You can also see you've got a height adjustable bar on that collar there. Although these are very tall bars, I didn't really feel the need to adjust it any higher. The Hunter Plus is suited for relatively short leisure and fun rides really. The 336 watt-hour battery isn't the biggest you'll find out there, but check out our range test later to see just what range we did get out of it under different conditions. You don't need to be ultra sporty to ride this. As I say, it's a very comfortable upright riding position with a comfortable saddle, and the fat bike tyres themselves tend to even out any humps and bumps. We took it over all sorts of surfaces, hummocky grass, loose gravel and some muddy tracks. It would also make a good medium distance commuter. You could add a pannier rack on the back. There are thread-on points here and further down to enable you to put a pannier rack on. It's also equipped with a front LED light, a brake light here at the back, very sturdy metal mud guards, kickstand and even an electronic horn which you can operate just from the button there. So that's a quick overview of the main features. Now let's see how it performed out on the trails.
The Hunter Plus is compactly packaged, so there's a few basic steps to go through to assemble it after removing it from the box, but it comes with all the tools needed to do that. First, remove all the numerous pieces of protective packaging and cut all the cable ties to remove the front wheel and bars that are tied to the frame. It's so well packaged that's actually the most time-consuming part of the process. Handlebars are easily clamped into the stem using the quick release fitting. This also allows you to easily alter the angle of the bars when out riding. The front mudguard and light are fixed to the stanchion above the suspension using the same nut and bolt fitting. When putting the front wheel in, make sure the various washers on the axle are spaced correctly to stop the disc rotor rubbing on the pads. And lastly, fix on the pedals and insert the seat post and you're ready to ride. I was surprised how well the Hunter Plus smoothed out uneven surfaces like this slightly hummocky grass, maintaining its speed well with the 4-inch white tyres rolling over rather than getting stopped by the small humps and bumps, as might happen with narrower tyres on small diameter 20-inch wheels like this bike has. I also tested the Hunter Plus over a wide variety of surfaces and just couldn't fault it. I found miles of track with looser surfaces were a breeze, whether it was going fast cross-country or on climbs with looser surfaces. Most importantly, you still get good stopping power from the hydraulic disc brakes, and along with the traction from fat tyres you get a nice controlled stop. The geared rear hub motor was pretty good performer up off-road climbs like this old cement farm track, which is around 10% grade, and the bike maintained good speed and power up it.
Plenty of grip and suspension on reasonably fast descents like this. Just a bit of noise from the chain really and the kickstand. But there's plenty of braking on the hydraulic brakes if I want to stop quickly, for example just here. I can bring the bike to a halt fairly quickly, even on a steep downhill like that on rough terrain.
The motor easily keeps you moving at a safe speed in traffic like any other e-bike and handles descents well too. Do bear in mind very low tyre pressure can affect handling and you should be wary of cornering at speed when you have little air in the tyres. so it's always better to make sure you have enough tyre pressure for prolonged spells of faster road riding. That's usually around 20 to 25 psi, depending on the weight of the rider and the bike combined.
Folding the E Movement Hunter is pretty simple. Just make sure your pedal is in the right place. The non-drive side pedal is down here. It's simply a matter of unclicking the frame catch there like that and folding it in half. Then you've got a handy support at the front on which to rest it like that, and finally just let your bars down, and that's the folded package. There's nothing to clip or hold it together, so it's really more of a fold for putting in the back of a truck or a car, not really anything for taking on a train, but it's very quick and very easy. To unfold it, you just do the same process in reverse. Pick it up by the saddle, unfold the two halves like that. It's a nice easy hinge to use, it's not stiff as some folding bikes are. Make sure you get the catch clipped in, handlebars up like that. That's it, you can turn it on, you're ready to go. One particularly neat feature of the Hunter Plus is this little strengthening bar here, which we've realised you can actually use as a handle. The 20-inch wheels keep it a nice compact bike, so it's handy for actually picking the bike up. If you encounter steps like these steep steps here under this railway bridge where there's a cycle lane, you can just do this.
The handle works for both carrying up steps, as you can see here, and on the way back down.
So what are my closing thoughts about the Hunter Plus electric fat bike? Well, I was surprised, as it's the first electric fat bike I've actually tried, just the amount of control and grip you get from the large 4-inch wide knobbly tyres. I just found them superb over looser surfaces, especially on bouldery, gravelly tracks. Even up steeper climbs, there's plenty of grip, and there's also plenty of stopping power, not just from the hydraulic disc brakes, but also the fact you've got that large contact patch on the looser surface. It will just give you more grip into fast corners and also bring you to a halt a little more under control. Another really nice point about the bike is the kind of comfort and convenience features. The step-thru frame, the foldability, and the full equipment, kickstand and mudguards and lights. They really do make it quite an unusual but very practical and interesting package. So if you're thinking of getting into electric fat bikes, this is definitely one for your list. Retails in the UK at £1,400, but also know E Movement have quite a range of electric fat bikes. They have the lower priced, more basically spec'd Hunter model, which retails at £11.99, and I think they've even got a full mountain bike sized bike with 4-inch wide tyres if you want something with a bit bigger frame and bigger wheels, but still want the electric fat bike experience. So as ever, leave your comments below, comments and questions below, and if you want to keep up to date with future videos, please subscribe to the channel. See you next time.